gaslight, gatekeep, girlboss.
Welcome to today's episode of C's Got Degrees. I'm Robin, the host of this week, and this is the podcast where we try to answer the question, what the hell do we do now? Now, today is an extra special episode because the boys had their week last week, but today is the ladies' week. So I'm joined with two new members. If you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, kind of give us a little insight on what you're doing.
Take it away.
All right. Well, hi. My name is Maggie. I am not graduated yet. I am entering my senior year of college. And I am kind of known for people as Embrace Sounds. I'm known as the goth girlfriend, which is a thing that we do at our college. And also, I'm a little bit of a Manic Pixie dream girl, but I don't claim that.
Yeah. No, we'll claim the goth girlfriend.
Yeah. We love a goth girlfriend moment. Absolutely. So I'm Elizabeth Brenizer. Also go by Brez, Liz, Lizzie, Bryn. There's just a lot of names for me. Whatever floats your boat. I am a graduate. I just graduated in May with a degree in marketing and communications. So educated girl, got that degree, and two of them.
Let's go!
Yeah, I just started a job, which is crazy, and I'll leave some of that good content for later on in the episode, though. Don't want to give it all away now.
Oh, a little spicy little secret.
Yeah,
That's a special announcement.
We'll have to definitely touch on that because that's what the podcast is about. What are we doing? I, for one, am so excited to have this ladies' night. I kind of been the only lady in the podcast so far, and I don't know if I can be really claimed as a lady. It's just kind of we're chilling. But we kind of have some stuff we want to talk about, and I know we are talking about how we are going into a predominantly male industry. So, a little frightening. What are our thoughts?
It's... So I actually just posted about this not long ago. I'm just, so over the thought of entertaining a man.
Yes.
I'm just so tired of it. I just, literally the thought of, trying to have a conversation with a man who doesn't give a shit about me and what I'm saying is so exhausting. And that is something that I'm coming to terms with as I start my career here, because both business and communications are dominated by men, which is, I think, the case for just a lot of different areas. It's not just those two majors for me, but I don't know. I just feel like everything that I go into, I look around and I might be the only girl in the room, which is just frustrating. Because, I'm entering spaces where women's voices would be so powerful and impactful and are needed. And it's just I'm glad I'm here, but it'd be nice to have someone by my side, So,
oh, absolutely.
That's where I'm at right now. Just exhausted.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of have a weird take on this whole situation, because the place that I've worked at since high school is biased in a way that's different. So we actually primarily hire women, especially girls that are in high school. And so the ice cream shop is owned by women, led by women, worked by women, which is really nice to see. And then obviously getting into this industry has been a total 360 shift, because even at my internship, which I was working at this entertainment company, and we basically created pitches for reality TV shows to pitch to networks to basically sell the idea. But the company was owned by two men, and us in the creative department were all the women. It was kind of a weird dynamic. I'm going to these meetings and we're trying to talk about, oh, wouldn't this be a fun show idea? And then having everything picked apart by the only two men because you have to get their opinions before anything is approved. It's just such a weird dynamic. I don't know. It's interesting to see how that's basically the whole gist of the situation is that the women might create the ideas, but basically we have to have the male approval.
And my thing, like, to go off of that, my thing is that, like, if they don't understand the idea or whatever it is right away, I feel like there's no real interest in, like, learning more and actually coming to understand it. And I feel like that's something that, like, I take upon myself whenever I'm not, like, really sure where someone's going with something. I try to, like, ask those questions. I try to get that clarification so that I'm on the same page as them. And maybe I offer some, you know, different advice on how to maybe tweak it to better fit the situation for whatever it may be. But I just feel like sometimes you don't get that same energy from guys. It's just frustrating in the professional world because it's like, hey, we're all working towards the same goal here. We all want to, like, do good by this organization. And I'm not just offering up these half-assed ideas. Like, I'm being serious here, and I would like to be taken seriously. So, I feel you.
Honestly, for me, Mark?
Hi, guys. I'm at work. Did the recording not work?
Speaking of men at work.
Hi, welcome to the Girls Podcast.
Sweet. If everything's good, I'm going to go back to work. Have a good show, guys.
Thank you.
Surprise appearance.
Oh my gosh. Speaking
This
of...
is exactly what I'm talking about.
We actually did need
the
help.
goddamn table.
We actually did need their help today because none of us had permission to start the recording in the Discord, which is so sad. A male's world.
Anyway, back to the podcast. They were back, Holden.
Yeah, Holden, cut back in 3, 2, 1. Maggie, what's your opinion?
So honestly, for me, ever since I went to college, it was kind of a culture shock because I went to an all-girls Catholic high school. So, like, although feminism was muted in some ways because we can't really be super liberal in Catholic school, there was always, like, a sense of, like, you're gonna accomplish great things, like, you got this, you're a strong, powerful woman. And then coming to college and expecting, like, to be treated the same way as men. And I'm not saying that all men are like this, but there is sometimes an unintentional preference towards men. And that's a big thing in our industries as well, because a lot of the times our directors are men, our producers are men, the people who write shows are men. And I feel like there needs to be more women's voices in media and our opinions as well.
Oh no, I agree. Like, you can definitely tell when something is written by a man because you're just like, this woman character does not make sense. Like, this is not something a woman would say. This is not something a woman would do. And, like, it's always a joke of, oh, all the women have to go to the bathroom at the same time. But it's like, okay, can we get some actual good female comedy out there?
My favorite examples of that lately is, like, people on TikTok tearing apart the way... I mean, this has been a common theme, like, everyone tearing apart how women are written in males' books. And they just talk about, you know, like, the shape of her body, and just, she was perfect, but flawed at the same time, and, like, just all this stuff, right? And it's like, there ain't no way a single woman wrote this book. And then also on TikTok, when they, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's popped up a couple times for me, where, like, different statues and, like, artworks in general have been, like, clearly made by a man, and you're like, that is the female figure. However, no one's boobs look like that.
Yes, it's specifically, like, this one, like, woman that's her, like, chest ripped open, and, like, her boobs are, like, first off low and then perky, and I'm like, no offense, that's not what a woman looks like.
Right.
No.
Straight up. No.
And then she's got the Disney eyes because, you know, every woman's doe-eyed, and we're just, like, looking for male validation, which is just how the world works.
We're just adding our eyelashes, and we need a big, strong man to help us.
You can't see this, but we are batting our eyelashes. Oh my gosh. yeah, like you could just like tell when things are first off not only just written by a man, because like there are obviously good men out there, and there are men who like can have talked to women and understand like what women are like, but like men specifically who clearly have not had a female presence in their life, like they just don't understand anything about a woman, and then they full on, like you said, write a book and be like, oh, this woman's body, this and that, and it's like the only woman's body you have seen is your mother, and I doubt she looked like that, buddy. No offense.
It's their own little fantasies of like,
Yeah.
and I feel like, you know, this is some, like I mentioned earlier, my Manic Pixie Dream Girl vibes. That is like that's a trope I was actually talking to with my friend about recently. And it's like a lot of men date women that are like indie or like alternative or maybe mentally ill. And they have this expectation where they have to make your life more interesting. And I like one of my friends and I were talking, and she was like, you know, I feel like this one guy like dumped me because I wasn't a manic pixie dream girl. And we were talking like a women's purpose is not to make your life more interesting, it's not to serve you. We're here to like do our things, and we've struggled long enough, so just listen to us. And a shout out to our boys for like listening to us, even though they interrupted us.
Yeah, at Mark. No, like that's what I was like, I barged right in. You guys good? Okay, I'm gonna go back to work. Okay, Mark, read general, and then you'll be fine. But no, like the guys in our group, absolutely, like they're high key. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but like they're really listening. They're open to what we have to say, especially when the most controversial thing just happened. You know, Roe v. Wade got overturned. And that day, I just kind of went into our group chat and I was like, hey, like, understandable that, like, there's only 3 women in this group, but I feel like we should say something. Like, even if our platform has, 20 listeners per episode, we should at least make a statement, because I know everybody in our group, like, supports women, supports whatever choice they make. And I was actually surprised by the immediate response of like, oh yeah, do it. Do it. Absolutely. Just go off. Do that. And it was like, there was no like, oh, maybe we should take it down. Let's tone it down. Let's not like lose anybody. No, just do it.
My thing with that too is like, it's unfortunate fact that, you know, just the way that our government is set up, that it's catered towards men. It's just the freaking reality. As much as I wish that wasn't true, it just is. And like in situations like this, while obviously it's going to be women the most who are like crying out in outrage about what is happening, and like I can understand how it might be easy for a guy to be like, okay, I'm just going to sit back, like this is not my issue. It's 100% your issue. Like you need to also be raising your voice, and you need to be speaking out, because clearly your voice is more valued than ours is. And I feel also, like so many times, like I just feel like, I don't know, like you see people posting on social media, and obviously like you can argue that's just performative activism, whatever. But at the same time, it's nice to see support, even as like little as it may be, you know, just that little thing. And I feel like there were so many people I was just like disappointed that, you know, I expected to speak up about this, and I expected to like try to rally people together and like talk about the importance of it, or just, you know, share news, whatever. And they just like stayed quiet on this issue when they are quick to pick up any other issue. And it's just like, man, I don't know. It just kind of stinks to see that when it doesn't affect them as much, they're not concerned, you know? It's like, you should be looking for your fellow human. But that's just my little rant.
It's also just kind of like, I saw this circulating around the internet a lot. If he didn't check in on you ladies when it got overturned, dump him.
Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted to, they would. So let's put that out there.
Yeah.
Like the people who were ignoring you that day, or clearly were watching your stories and then didn't put anything on theirs, like I don't care if it's performative activism, I still want to see that you support me. So the fact that they would watch it and then, you know, would post basketball pictures, if they wanted to, they would. So give it up. Full on
crazy,
man.
This is circling back.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just to circling back a little bit to the Manic Pixie Dream Girl comments. I was just gonna say to that, like, I feel like there's so many people, just no matter like who it is, that, you know, if you don't fit a particular vibe, they just like won't even be your friend. And that is so crazy to me. Like, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but like the point being, like, it just drives me crazy that so many people are selective on that kind of thing where it's like, oh, if you don't fit exactly my all indie vibe, you can't be my friend. And it's like, that just drives me up the wall because, like, I don't know. It infuriates me.
Yeah, like the people who are like, go, 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 we're partying every weekend. And if you were to be like, oh, you know, I'm like taking a step back, like there are some people that really look at you and be like, I don't know if I want to hang out with you anymore. You're kind of a buzzkill. It's like, bro, I can't do it this every weekend. Like, no offense, but everyone has to have their me time. Clearly you don't, but I do. Like, I have a social recharge that I need to do, and I need to lock myself away.
I feel like there's a little bit of that on both sides because I've experienced a wide variety of different people, from like the super social people that want to go out all the time, and then the people that are really reserved. And there's like, you know, if you're in the middle, you get hate on each side. Like, you don't want to go out this weekend, or why are you being so irresponsible? And it's just like, you know, at our age, we're young people and we're making our own decisions and we're going to make our own mistakes. But don't shame someone for making a mistake or making a choice that you don't want to make, because at the end of the day, you can't control other people. And swinging back to the government, you can't control women if you're a man.
T. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, everybody wants to hate on women for, you know, they should have known better. Hello, mistakes happen. There's a statistical probability that I will literally die in 2 seconds. Like, me and my multiverse theory, like, every second I die in every single way. So, like, to be honest, there's a probability for everything. So, they could have done the most precautions and still got pregnant. So, like, don't just be like, oh, you should live up with your own, that's a consequence. No, consequence is like, hey, you spilled your tea, can you wipe it up? That's not like, having a baby's not a consequence if you took precautions. Like, end of story.
Yeah.
It's also these states that are clearly ignoring huge issues, like Robin and I's home state. There are no exceptions for anything.
Well, when you're the lowest on the list for like, oh, healthcare in general, how about education? If you're lowest on the list for, you know, just even infrastructure, roads, bridges, like everything's falling apart. Do you really think this is the issue we should be focused on? I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of other social networks that could have been fixed before working on that. Like, that seemed like the cherry on top when you didn't have any scoops of ice cream in the bowl yet.
No, I woke up the day Roe versus Wade got overturned, and I immediately had I had the news saying that it got overturned, and then I saw that Missouri was like the first, or
it was the first. Yeah,
it was the first. Yeah, it was the first state that responded to all of this, and I was just like, I was kind of holding on to that little bit of like, it ain't so bad here, and then I was like, it's really bad here.
I don't know. It's just like, bro, you did it literally minutes afterwards. Did you have nothing else to do? Were you sitting on your desk, like pen in hand, just like watching the TV? Like, I can't fathom just how quickly that response was. Like, it's mind blowing.
My biggest fear right now is obviously this in itself is horrible, but I'm worried about what kind of dumb effect it'll have, and just that one judge was mentioning a whole bunch of other different cases that deal with some very important issues, and they're like, oh, maybe we should be questioning these, and it's like, dog, you have done so much damage in a week and a half alone.
Can we just breathe?
Right. Can we just take a moment? Can we take a moment and think about our choices and the consequences they will have? And just in relation to women's healthcare again, I don't know, people, there's a bunch of people trying to push for no kind of birth control at all. And it's like, you, one, don't want people to be able to get access to safe abortions. And then two, want to take away the measures in place to prevent unwanted pregnancies.
Oh yeah.
Literally, this is the Handmaid's Tale. This is the Handmaid's Tale.
It really is. It really is.
It's also the fact that a lot of like birth controls and medications that women take are not solely for preventing pregnancies. There's people that have like endometriosis or hormonal imbalances or have really bad acne. Like, and it's just something that you want to take all of these, you want to take like procedures away that, number one, don't even have to do with like terminating a child, or that's how we're gonna view it. It helps people in the situations when there is the moment when they unfortunately do lose a child, that it wasn't planned that they were going to lose it, and they can't safely get rid of the tissues that are inside them. And then we're also going to possibly move towards taking away medications that some people literally need so they're not in physical pain every day.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
No, I have a few different friends who have endometriosis, and just like they were sharing about how that affects not only like now but in the future, because they literally, there's so much possibility for them to have a pregnancy go wrong, and if they're not able to like safely, get like if they're not safely able to get rid of that pregnancy, their life is in risk. It's like not a question, it is a fact. And like you were saying with the birth control, it's not always about birth control. Like, I personally am on a form of birth control, and it's not because I'm out being crazy. It's literally because I have a health condition where I used to faint like every week, and now it's going away because of that birth control. And honestly, like, that is a form of independence that I am so thankful to have because of that. And if that was taken away from me, I would be genuinely devastated, because I hate the thought of not feeling independent again because I'm worried about passing out every other day,
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this even affects IVF treatment. So, like, when people like are wanting to get pregnant and they fertilize these eggs, right? So the doctors will probably fertilize 10 eggs at a time, and then they will test them for genetic defects, so that when a couple chooses the eggs, they're gonna be like, oh, we don't want those eggs because they have genetic defects. We'll choose out of these 5. But I was really talking to a nurse who works in this industry, and she was already talking about, well, if the government's going to say that it starts at conception, well, all of these fertilized eggs, the woman either has to go through with every single one of those fertilized egg pregnancies, or because we can't throw them away anymore, or they just don't go through IVF, because if you're throwing away, that's technically you're getting ready to fertilize a baby. It's technically an abortion now, so it affects industries in such a weird way, and I don't think like politicians will even like do research properly on any of this.
Yeah, no. I actually, related to that, I saw a politician, I really can't remember who off the top of my head. I read it really quickly at like 1 a.m. But he was basically saying, there's like a quote of him saying like, oh, that's different because the lab isn't the same as it being in a woman's body. And someone was sharing that, and they're like, this is literally how it is about controlling women. Like, it is point blank period laid out for you there. And you still want to argue that it's not that, but that's clearly the case. They just want to have more control over us. And that makes me so mad.
And now that like these procedures in majority of states are becoming illegal, there's prison time if you get caught doing this unsafely. Which means women become felons, or people who have children become felons, which means that they're not allowed to vote. So it's, in a way, if you think about all of the consequences this adds, it's literally silencing women or people who are able to carry a child.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this was a disheartening point of the podcast. Should we let's go something happier.
Yeah, we just had to get that off our chest.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this moment so we can just like spew out, because I mean, we normally record our podcast on a Friday, and so when our last episode dropped, you were supposed to record this episode, which was a whole week since the overturn, and so we've been waiting. We've been waiting. So now that we have cleared the chest, cleared the air, I mean, not really cleared the air, we're still angry. Stay angry. Yeah. I think that's the message. Don't get complacent. Stay angry.
Yes.
As a wise friend of Elizabeth and I's once said, "Die, cry, hate."
Absolutely.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, I think, something that's a little fun. So we were talking about how we have like, let's talk about, oh my gosh, if I can get this out, I am stumbling over my words today. Sorry to our listeners. Let's talk about what our dream careers would be. And to be fair, I'm going to take this a little fun because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. My dream career, technically it'll never happen, would be to be directing that Barbie movie that's about to come out.
Yes!
I'm obsessed. Everything, every set picture, every set like video, I'm like hooked. I eat that shit up. That is my.
Let me just say respectfully, Margot Robbie, if you're ever interested, call me up. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Margot Robbie
and Zendaya.
Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie was just was an awakening for me to realize that I indeed do like women. Because I saw like the Harley Quinn designs and I was like, I really want to be her friend.
I mean, that's one way to put it.
The high school passionate ally to realization pipeline.
Not gay, but if I was.
It's like a straight shot, but there's a slow down in the middle, and then it's like gay. Straight speed off the gay. Oh my gosh, but I keep seeing photos of her in that goddamn cowboy outfit with Ryan Gosling. I'm like, I don't even care. People are like, Ryan Gosling's too old for this. I don't care. I do not care. He is my kid. I'll take that blonde-headed boy.
If I was much taller, I wish I could pull out that outfit, but I'm out here 5'2". It's not gonna happen, but apparently a lot of people in LA, since this movie's coming out and they're filming it, people have been like spotting like all these like hot pink outfits. So people are now getting inspired by the Barbie movie to wear hot pink, and I'm going to LA in the fall.
Ooh,
I'm going to LA in the fall for the Hollywood semester, and I just kind of want to go buy a bunch of hot pink clothes.
Please do.
If I ever dress up in cowboy core, just know it's not in a straight way. Okay, that's all I have to say.
You're like, this is gay. This is gay. Yes. This movie is for the girls and the gays only. I better not see any men or homophobes in that building at all. Like, this movie theater is going to be all of us in our girly pink cowboy outfits, and I don't care.
On the way, I'll be listening to my favorite category of country music, which is angry woman mad at boyfriend who is out with a vengeance.
Yeah. Take my key and then scratch his car up. Let's poke some holes in those tires. Absolutely. That is like the only like country I can really stand is woman is mad and she's getting her revenge.
Absolutely. And you know what? As she fucking should.
Absolutely. As she should. Get that back, sis. Like, you're right, she can't take a straight shot, so cut his car.
Yeah, I can drink my fruity little drink. I can drink some whiskey. I'm down for anything, We're just rolling with the punches, and we're giving the punches. So, it's a good day to be...
Yes.
It's a good day to be alive.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I think part of it, too, growing up in the Midwest and by a bunch of farms, you can't help but have just the slightest bit of soft side for country core vibes,
Yep,
like,
absolutely. I was a horse girl, okay, growing up, so I understand.
Listen, I read too many horse books And it's embarrassing, but
You read the horse books?
yes.
Listen,
Yes.
I just collected the little horse figurines and I would play with those. I didn't think there'd be actual horse books, bro.
We're talking about
There's-
horses?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. Talking about
Yeah, so
just
horse
growing up in the
girls.
Midwest. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead, Maggie.
I was not really much of a horse girl, but I watched
Wow.
two horse shows. So I don't know if that does make me a horse girl because like
It
I don't
depends.
identify. I watched
It
this
depends
show
on what they
called
were.
The Saddle Club and
Ooh, that's pretty horse
Horseland.
girl.
Horseland.
Those are pretty. Those are pretty horse girl vibes right there. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, there is no choice. When you grew up in our time frame,
Yeah.
you like had to come and like encounter with these different things of media, and it was all about horses. I don't know what the craze was, but
It does not
You
matter
couldn't
like
avoid it.
what media it was. You had something horse in your life.
yes.
I had, like the Black
Big-
Beauty movies.
Big
Yes.
city
I was
girl
looking that
goes
shit
to the
up.
country. Big city girl goes
Yes.
to the country and she tames the wild horse and she decides
Absolutely.
that she
Wow.
doesn't need the city anymore.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I like I was saying, I've read some horse books when I was younger. I can't remember what they are now, but they're generally of that variety of what Maggie just said. And then I think what really got the ball rolling is I watched Spirit. And it was all downhill
Yes.
from there.
Yes.
Every time I see two horses, that look like Rain and Spirit, I'm just like, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But for a while, Spirit was coming back on TikTok. And
They
I'm
remade the
ashamed
movie.
of my TikTok side because everybody wanted to fuck that horse. I don't know why. Like,
I've seen
I'd
that.
fuck that horse.
They remade Spirit.
Bro. They did.
And
It
I
was
hate that they
horrible.
did.
I
hate that.
haven't
didn't need
seen
to touch it.
because I was
They
against
didn't need to touch it. It's because they added the horse girls into the Spirit show. So, like, why did you do that? Leave
Literally
Spirit
so
alone.
unnecessary.
The whole point of Spirit is that he is untamed.
Exactly.
Yes.
Literally,
Yes.
the whole plot of the movie they destroyed, and I'm furious because I watched that movie so many times growing up, and they ruined it, and I'm pissed. And I literally haven't even like watched it or anything, but like I can just tell
just
that they
know.
ruined it. I just know.
I just know in my heart that it's wrong. It's not
Yeah.
right at all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I hate to be one of those old people that are like, oh, they ruined it, these new kids.
But they did. But they
But
did.
they did.
Like
Oh,
we can all look at this and say this was ruined. Like at some point, there's some things from our childhood that you just can't ruin. Like you can't ruin Minions. Minions has just always been ruined. It's always been bad. You can't ruin well, I guess you did ruin mobile app games because they're all horrible now, but still.
Yeah.
Can I just say though, there has been a resurgence of Minions, that new movie that came out, and
Oh my
there's
gosh,
a lot of
it's
people.
insane.
Well, there's been a lot of people who have been like, "Oh, I've loved Minions this entire time," and I'm like,
No.
one, why would you out yourself like that? That is so
No.
embarrassing.
They're
So
lying.
embarrassing.
They're
And two-
lying.
yeah, two. Even if a new movie came out, which obviously it did, you shouldn't even like them now. I'm sorry, but there
No.
has been too many cringy mom Facebook posts that include Minions that I can just never look at them the same.
The Minions and the wine. Why did those two things become like one? Like I
Yeah.
understand wine millennial moms, and then I had an understanding of Minion moms. So like there was an understanding of both of those. But as soon as they combined and they were like, wine on a Tuesday night, and it was a Minion with a glass of wine, I'm lost. I don't know why they combined.
Yeah,
I don't get it
It's
either.
no. It's a Venn diagram that unfortunately overlaps, and you just gotta hope that that overlap is as small as humanly possible.
It's wine o'clock.
Oh my gosh.
God. If you ever see me saying that, know that it's a cry for help, okay? I need you to take me down.
Write that down, everyone. If she
Yeah.
says it's 1 o'clock, it's over.
You need to call in for a wellness check on me.
Like
That's
she's too far gone at that point. No,
my
but with
God.
this Minions movie, like people are full on dressing up in suits and taking bananas and like full on like buying this theater out, going crazy. Like this is not like Avengers Endgame crazy where like we're cheering when a character comes on screen. No, this is people like getting up and screaming for the
Mhm.
Minions movie.
So
May I
many
just-
cops. So
Oh, go
many
ahead.
cops have come in to these movie theaters
Yes.
and kicked people out.
What?
Like,
I have not
Yeah,
seen
you
that.
haven't seen this? Someone threw like a
No.
banana at the movie screen and stained
Oh
the
my-
movie screen with a banana. Like,
Okay,
they've gone off the rails.
if you're gonna sneak food into a movie theater, why the hell would you make it a banana? I'm sorry. What?
I,
I don't get it.
in a hypothetical situation of sneaking food into a movie theater, because I've totally not done that, because that's against
not.
the rules, right?
Right, yeah.
Pixie.
As a past movie theater employee, yeah, definitely didn't do that.
You totally don't bring like a mini backpack and shove it with like nerds and sour punch straws and like
See,
Listen,
this is where like
beverages
this is where my skills come in handy, okay? I have done Taco Bell. I have gone to a Chinese buffet, brought Ziploc bags,
hypothetically,
and
right?
snuck. Oh yeah, this is all hypothetical, okay? I'm speaking as if another character, okay? You
Mhm.
can't sue me. You don't even know what theater I went to. You can't
Straight
sue
up,
me.
yeah.
I filled the Chinese buffet in 2 Ziploc bags and then stuffed it on my person. I mean, like in the bra, in the shorts pocket, in the hoodie pocket. Like you always gotta wear a hoodie because then it's like
Mhm.
you can't. There's nothing under here. I'm just lumpy, is what you say. I'm just lumpy, and it works every single time. And it keeps warm because you know you're hot,
Yeah.
so it's like a nice warm breather coming out of my bra.
I just always bring a big purse with me, and I don't really carry like the only purse I carry around is like the purse that I use as a backpack for school.
Mm.
And sometimes that comes with me to the movie theater because you know
Mm,
I'm just a feminine person. I got my
You're just-
perfumes and my woman
you're a
stuff.
work-
Totally
yeah.
not food.
You're a working
Yeah.
woman. You know, you're coming straight from the workplace and you don't want to leave your bag in your car. There's nothing snuck in there at all.
Straight
That's what
from
I'm saying.
UTV. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nothing in
straight from
there.
UTV.
Here's the thing. Okay, a few things actually. One, with the backpack, you just put tampons on top, they are not going to dig through it. If
They're not
they
gonna touch
even
it.
bother to be like, oh, can I look in your bag? That's as far as they're going to look. They're just going to see that and
No,
be
they're
like,
gonna
okay,
be
go.
You're
Yup.
fine.
And two, wear a sweatshirt, tuck it in, and then just fill up that whole thing. You just look a little
Damn,
lumpy,
okay.
and then you know you
Right
get
again.
into the movie theater. You
I'm
just
not
bring-
seeking. I'm lumpy.
Or
Right,
you
exactly.
or you wear a blanket hoodie because those things have like giant ass pockets in them.
There you
Yeah,
go.
they do. They
Yeah.
do.
My
See,
my
so many hacks.
my best my best hypothetical, obviously, sneaking in of food. So it was Lollapalooza 2019 question mark, and I was wearing my little shorts and a crop top, and unfortunately I do not have the storage compartments up top like other women may have, but somehow hypothetically I managed to sneak in some granola bars. I don't even remember where I tucked them in. I think in the waistband of my shorts, hypothetically. And they literally pat you down when you walk into Lala because they're expecting you to sneak in drugs and craziness.
Right.
And I'm
Absolutely.
like, no, ma'am, I just want my granola bar. Thank you.
I went to Riot Fest and they didn't even
Mhm.
they made sure I didn't have a bomb in my bag.
Yeah.
But
That's fair.
they didn't I had Cheetos in there, water, they didn't care. But there was a lot of people that did
yeah.
that brought whole ass paraphernalia
Yeah.
into this festival, and I'm just like, how?
See, Lala, Lala is crazy on for a whole lot of reasons, but when they check you going in, it is military level check, basically. They were going through my bag and pressing on my bag to see if anything felt weird. And I had one of those backpacking bags, a little day trip bag. and there was like a little tab that was sewn into the actual fabric, and so there was like a little like hard plastic spot, but it's not something that you could actually access because it was like I don't even know. But point
It's like
being,
part of the structure of the bag.
yeah. And this guy, I swear to God, was yelling at me like, "What is this? Like, what are you trying to do?" And this is when I was 18 years old, and people tell me I look innocent now. I looked even more innocent at 18 years old. I have not had a single sip of alcohol. Like, I am very much not the type to try to do anything. And I was like about to cry in this security line of Lollapalooza. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what it is. Just let me in.
Bro, I don't know.
Oh God, it was horrible. Traumatizing, obviously.
Oh my
I would have literally
gosh.
cried.
Oh, absolutely. I think I definitely would have just bawled my eyes out.
Yeah, this giant man screaming 18-year-old clearly is not trying to go make a deal in Lollapalooza. I'm just like, okay.
Don't you know you're a drug mule?
Right.
In the eyes of every security guard, you're a drug mule.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Bro. Well, this was away from my dream job.
Oh yeah, I was like, what are we even talking about?
Yeah. So let me pass it to you guys. What would be your dream job? I guess now past or present, if you could, and like whatever you wanted to do.
I got like a bunch. So like I used to be like a musician. I still kind of am. I just haven't been doing it a lot. But I was like a hardcore like strictly practiced everyday drummer for a really long time. So I've always just kind of wanted to be like a rock star in a way. Like I've always just kind of wanted to just like play drums or like sing and have a bunch of like teenagers like scream at me because that's what I did when I was a teenager, and I want to be what like high school Maggie thinks is cool. So that's why I look the way that I do.
I mean, fair. Fair.
And then like a more like realistically, I've been interested in like being a music supervisor for film, for like movies, like choosing like soundtracks and working with composers to like have them make music that would work with like a scene. And then like all-time goal, if we're talking about film, I want to make a TV show about my college experience, kind of like Euphoria, but not as graphic. But I college for me has been really traumatic. Like for most people, I don't know for most people, because I feel like we all just kind of fake being happy a lot of the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like the whole like all these college movies are everyone partying and having a great time, but that's not what it's like for majority of people. It is a constant identity crisis and constant breakdowns and not being good enough or being too good at something and being too good for people or too bad for people. And I feel like a realistic interpretation of a Midwestern college experience would be great. And I've been like taking my little notes on it and doing my little timelines of my own experiences. That's kind of my all-time goal for right now.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah, I know on the faking to be happy thing, that is the worst, most toxic part of college. And I think probably just of life in general. But it's just so amplified in college because it's just a constant assault on you.
Oh yeah. I mean, even like when professors go like, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" It's still like, I can't tell you. Like, no, I can't. I can't.
I've had experiences like that. Not outing any people here, but like, I've had experiences in college where I have not been doing well, and I've had professors that have been like supportive, and then that support magically was taken away when they just didn't care anymore. So it's just a lot of people for like, whether it's peers or adults, your employer or whatever, when you're a young adult, there is this expectation of you don't know how hard life is yet. But it's just you were once our age. You know how like getting a C on your Com 100 class is like is the end of the world, at that moment, or not
they always
being
try to
able.
downplay it, but at the end of the day, it's like for me in this moment, this is huge. Like I'm so like this is huge for me.
You can't tell me you didn't get ditched by your friends at a frat party when you were in college or something and cried about it. Like,
Yeah. That's the thing, is that it doesn't take you being a certain age for people to be shitty to you. That's just a fact of life.
True.
I've had a lot of things that have taken me a lot of time to recover from. And the worst part about it in college is that, like, you know that your professors are, like, mandated reporters or whatever. And there's been so many issues that I just haven't even discussed because I know that if I were to say anything, it'd be more trouble than it's worth. And I didn't have time for it, genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you do, if you are honest and being like, I'm struggling right now, it's like, please, here attached is the counseling phone numbers. There are people you can talk to, and it's just like, don't even, I don't want to hear it. I know.
Seriously. And the thing is, too,
trying that.
Yeah, the counseling, I never even tried to make an appointment on campus because I kept hearing people say either, one, it wasn't helpful, or two, it was like scheduled 4 months out, basically. And I'm like, well, that's the whole semester. So
I am not going to note on anything because I am still a student at Bradley. But I can say your opinions are valid.
Hypothetically.
Not gonna totally, hypothetically, if I were in that situation.
Valid.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
everybody's feelings are valid. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, everyone's feelings are valid, but maybe that's more valid in this moment. Oh, God. So back to topic here.
Yes.
Because we do seem to be getting on some tangents, which are pretty wild. But I'd say, okay, my problem in life is that I don't like making choices. When people ask me my favorite anything, I have an identity crisis because I like everything. Except for things that I very much hate. That's like, I either love everything and then there's like a small list of things I just despise.
Right.
And so, but I would say, like, career-wise, my goals are pretty constantly like shifting, but like my most consistent thing lately is just trying to continue to find a way to hone in on like my business and creative side, because I love being creative. I love just, being able to take all these ideas I get and just try to see them through. But I'd say the most challenging part of that is that I know it can be hard to actually like make a living sometimes with that, which sucks. Right. And I wish that were the case. So that's why I really am enjoying marketing in particular, just because I feel like I'm able to still take that creative side of me and apply it in a way that I know like will bring results and like all that good stuff. And like part of me kind of mourns that I didn't push more for like my video production stuff. And there's a little bit of Bradley misleading me in that. And, all that good stuff, but that's fine. So I'd say right now, my goal would just to get to a spot where I'm in charge of like the creative aspects of marketing, because I have a lot of ideas. That's the problem, is I always have a lot of ideas. And so when it comes to like an organization, I want to try to see how I can like just oversee projects in general and have input on the creative development side. But also I love planning things out and laying out plans, just in general, for like how to put that idea into motion. And so that's why I really enjoyed, like, I was media director for Bradley Hockey, and I really enjoyed that because I was still able to do my creative stuff with photography, with creating different social media posts, with like overseeing video stuff. But I was still able to like lay out plans and like lead the media team itself,
Right.
So whatever that may look like for me, I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure what that role looks like for me or whatever. But yeah, I definitely want to be in a space where creativity is cherished rather than just being like, oh, these artistic types are just like pains in the ass, you know, because I feel like that's so often the case with like real businessy frat boy types, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, just trying to find like the right company that actually cherishes that. And then, you know, maybe one day down the line, trying to find a way into like film or all that kind of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
If I get successful, I'll give you a call.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we ladies got each other.
Yeah, I'll call all y'all. You'll call all of you call me. God, I can't talk.
The thing is too that really sucks is that like I do love, you know, the opportunity I have with my job right now, but like just like the film nerd in me, whenever I'm watching a movie, I'm just like analyzing everything and just thinking of ways that I would lay out the shots differently and all that stuff. And then like I hear a song on the radio and I'm like thinking through like, oh, if I was like making a movie, this is like how I would montage out this song and like, oh, that would be great for this part of the movie. And I'm like, oh my god, I literally like I'm such a film nerd and it kind of sucks because I'm like, man, there's a lot of confusion on where I want to go with that.
I get those moments when you're like driving in central Illinois in the middle of nowhere because you're bored.
Yeah, your mind has to fill it in for you.
Sorry, my mom was trying to ask me something, but I was trying to stay on my point. And you're like driving in your car and in the Midwest in the middle of nowhere and the sun's going down and it's a little bit snowy and you're listening to a song and you're like, this is a movie.
Yes. So most recent example of that for me, I was with some family at this like small town firework thing, right? Which I don't really support fireworks themselves because of a whole myriad of issues, but whatever. I was there. It happened. And there was like this like pageant thing or something, and it was like the Candle Queen. I don't know. Basically, this small town. Okay, let me walk you through it.
Yeah,
so
I'll
this small town every year holds this like candle ceremony, right? And so they have this like little like springs that like come out of this cave in like a hill, and it goes through like this little winding path, right? And over the winding path, they lay out these like, wooden structures, and they cover them with candles. And when the sun goes down, they light all these candles. Stay with me. They light all these candles.
I'm saying.
They light all these candles, and then like after all that, they have like this candle queen, right? They choose a candle queen. Okay. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? One. And two, just the whole visuals of this like little stream creek thing looking like it's lit on fire from all these candles.
Oh yeah.
And then this like giant stage surrounded by trees, and like there's these purple and blue lights shining up on the trees. And this woman's like, you know, got this big Barbie smile on and is reading all these names and, oh, you know, Cindy Lou and like all the wonderful things that Cindy Lou does. And just something about it was so creepy. And like, I'm like, this is the start of a small town horror. And I literally
Are you sure you did not drive through a cult? Like, I'm sorry, but it sounds like you drove through like an absolute cult village.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting there the whole time, and I am like storyboarding out to my family. I'm like, okay, listen up. Small town horror movie. We start with a scene of like all these candles, and then one by one they're getting lit, and like, you know, I'm just like talking through like.
Can
this
you just tell she majored in engineering? No, I'm just yeah. Film major with a capital S and M.
Yeah, this whole night I'm just like thinking up like how I would have this film concept go through, and I'm like, honestly, if I had the means to execute, I would absolutely be making that movie because
yeah,
I'd like this whole
if you had $100,000.
Yeah.
If you
But that's the
basic.
thing
I
with film.
feel, yeah.
Like, you have to have the resources, the money, the people willing to
Mhm.
act. Like, it's crazy.
Mhm.
I feel like back to the little cult logic of all this. I feel like a lot of people don't understand how okay, well, to any of my relatives listening to this podcast, I know you are all very disappointed in me right now. And you're going to get even more disappointed. So I would suggest that you end this. So as I mentioned
drop out now.
As I mentioned to all of you, I went to a private Catholic all-girls high school, and a lot of like these ceremonies we had to do with like lighting candles and singing in circles.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you, I kind of felt like I was in a cult. Like there was this thing we would do once a year. So the freshmen and sophomores would do. So you'd be a little sister your freshman year, you'd be a big sister your sophomore year. Kind of like sororities.
I'd say this is something very sorority core.
And we would have this like little like event on like a Friday night once a year, and it would be like this lock-in, and we would basically do all these sleepover activities, and then we'd all go, and there was a pond in front of my school.
Oh God.
And all of this, we would stand around the pond holding real candles.
Mm-hmm.
And
Are you the second person to be in a cult in this episode?
And then when I got inducted into my high school's like, I don't know, inducted into my high school, we stood around the gym in a circle and we would sing our school song holding candles. And I want to say that this was miserable because they had these like they were like straight candles, like those like ones that you would see at like in the Beauty of the Beast, those types of candles. And we would be holding them, and they gave us these like cardboard things that you put around the candle so the wax would fall into them, but that didn't really work.
They never do.
Of course not.
So religion is a cult.
Period.
If it works for you, it works for you. But yeah,
the candles, as soon as you break out the candles, I'm automatically assuming you're in a cult, and that's just that.
Especially standing in a circle around a lake, burning candles. I'm sorry, you're summoning something.
My high school
if you got candles around your house, that's one thing. However, as soon as you're holding a candle with someone else who's also holding a candle, cult.
My high school was also in a residential area, so like there was just this couple acres of our property, and then there was houses like and neighborhoods all around us. So I bet people that like lived across the street once a year just see like 100 like girls standing around a pond holding candles and singing in unison.
Could you imagine like not having children in that area, and then you just know that once a year this happens, and you're just like, I'm locking myself in my house because I don't know who's doing this and it's freaking me out. Do you imagine?
Imagine being new to the area and like it's your first week there, and you open up the windows at nighttime and you just see that across the street. I'm gone.
I want to add to this story.
We're out.
I got more to add to the story. So, like, the second year I did this, I was like a big sister or whatever. And there happened to be a wasp's nest that had fallen out of a tree, but the wasps were still in it. Someone stepped on it, and we all started getting stung. So we're in the middle of singing, and everyone's like getting stung. And like this was like a sleepover themed event, so we're wearing like pajamas and stuff. And girls are like they had like onesies on and like tank tops and like gym shorts under it, and girls are like throwing their onesies off, screaming and crying. Miserable.
We went from summoning circle to human sacrifice. Like
y'all are crazy.
We had Rue from Hunger Games moment, but all of us.
Oh my gosh.
Don't break up, Rue. Don't break up, Rue.
Don't break up. Okay, so I'm going to introduce a section. I'm going to call this Professor's Remarks because I think that's funny, and it's basically we're going to do any callbacks or notes from previous episodes. So first off, we kind of had a little voting, and I think we've decided to call our listeners homies. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. But you guys are now our homies. Welcome in to C's Got Degrees fam. Hello,
you,
homies. Also, I would like to clarify, last episode, Mark got mad at me because I told him he needs to stop calling you guys audio listeners. And that is because we don't have video. And so putting audio doesn't mean anything if there's not another platform to do it. So Mark, like that was the whole point. So if you're wondering why, that's why.
I guess people in a way are watching because Mark has uploaded some of our episodes to his own YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, but isn't it just like the picture the whole time?
It's just a picture. So technically, you're still listening to audio, but you're watching. You're watching the thumbnail.
Can you imagine sitting there watching the thumbnail for the whole hour? I want to point that out. That's a little creepy.
I want to think about the last episode and the photoshopped lads. What was
that last episode? What?
I would like to say the person who created that one quiz, yes, I am in a relationship. I did not come up with that, and I had nothing to do that, and I do not claim that energy.
The smut fan fiction quiz? That was a thing. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I don't know if you've listened to the episode yet.
Yeah, not to out myself, I haven't listened yet. So what?
So at the end of the episode, they did the wheel of topics, right? And the game that was played was our good old friend Ryan would read smut fanfiction tags, and everyone had to guess what fandom the fanfiction was from. Which, to be honest, was frankly hilarious. Like I was crying laughing. But god damn it, if my grandma listens to that episode, I'm done for.
I would like to say one thing. I want some backstory on that. So Ryan came up with this idea and told me about it, and I was like, "You do you." Funny. I think it's funny, but you do you. And he was like, "Well, I found this website called Archive of Our Own."
Oh,
and I was just I was like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Have you heard of it?" And I was like,
"Never."
I was there when it was founded.
I was a person who was into K-pop and anime in high school, so of course I frequented that website. And Ryan's like, "You've heard of it, haven't you?" And I was like, "I wrote fan fiction at one point." I'm not saying anything more. And this man's was like, Is your fan fiction on this website? And I'm like, I have to end this conversation.
We're gonna stop here. No, it kind of pissed me out because he was like, I found this website, as if us girlies haven't been there when it was founded. Okay, we were there.
Babe, we've been there from the start.
We've been there every time they ask for money. We're there.
He was like, this really weird website exists, and I was like,
weird. Fuck you.
No, it's not like I frequented.
My 10-year-old Percy Jackson mind. Fuck you.
Yes. We battled through the trenches to find the pieces of gold in that website. Not to out myself, but the shitty writing of Wattpad. Okay, we really got to dig for gold there. Okay, and
Wattpad is
in our time. I'm sorry,
even
what?
DeviantArt had fanfiction. Okay,
Wattpad. Honestly, I'm gonna say, Archive of Our Own has the best fanfictions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or the actual fan fiction website that exists.
Yeah, going with the outing ourselves theme that we have been clearly doing, my first literally my first introduction to fan fiction was Percy Jackson series, the second one, The Heroes of Olympus, right? Mm-hmm. And after the first book came out, I was looking to see if there was anything about the second book. And then I actually stumbled upon fan fiction. Read it, thought it was the second book, thought it was the intro to the second book, and I was hooked. And then I kept finding other people's who had the exact same name, and I was like,
I'm not outing myself on the stuff that I read because I was into anime and I was into a really weird anime fandom that we're just not going to talk about.
Is it the one that I slid up on?
No. That's kind of a normal one. Ouran High School Host Club's a normal one. I never read Ouran fanfiction because I watched that show like 10 years after it came out. So, but hot girls read fan fiction.
Yeah, that's why the boys need to watch themselves. Okay, that is a normal thing.
You need
the boys need to do some reading and do some research. Yes. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Yes. Find yourself a pairing, okay, and go with it. I want to
say I did not listen to the last episode because of this, because I am afraid. I'm just going to say, Ryan, if you're listening and you made fun of people that were on that website, just know that your hot-ass girlfriend started off there.
We all started there, okay? I think every I'm gonna put this on every single girly that has gone to college has had her time on one fan fiction website. Okay, absolutely. We have all if we had the balls enough to go to college, we had to start somewhere. Especially those English majors. Now they definitely got their start on AO3.
Straight up.
The real girlies, the real OGs. Remember the time of early Instagram where there would be those accounts made that were like POVs, imagines, and some people who literally had like fanfics in the comments of Instagram. That was the start. That was the
multiple people who were the different characters, so they would role play different characters, and you would literally go to one of their Instagrams, and then somebody else, say it was like Percy Jackson, then somebody else's Instagram account was Annabeth, and they were commenting, and they were doing all sorts of stuff. We were there, okay?
Or those,
when it was written.
The people that would make text posts and screenshot them and share them on Instagram. Yeah.
Yes.
Group chats of your favorite characters.
Put some respect on these people's names.
I'm sorry, but the text ones were always the worst ones.
They were
crackhead moments.
They would try to pretend to text like them, and they would just use the most obvious catchphrases of whatever character or person it may be. And I'm gonna out myself. I was a directioner in high school. I mean, not high school, middle school. I mean, high school too, but middle school is what we're talking about.
It led into high school.
But, I just remember reading some of those imagines because as I should, my daily literature.
The Tumblr imagines, absolutely.
Yes, the text
you're in the hospital.
Always horrible. Yeah, imagine you're in the hospital. Yeah.
Oh,
imagine you're in the hospital and you go into surgery and your boyfriend Harry is sitting next to you, and then you get out of surgery and you ask, "Where's Harry?" And the doctor says, "Who do you think gave you the lips?"
Oh my god! Please.
Or you look into the mirror and you see his dark green orbs looking back at you. He gave you his eyes.
I really wanted to cry. Okay,
it's always orbs, not eyes.
That's fair. I will never forgive these two girls that were in middle school with me because we were all fan fiction girlies, right? But those two bonded over one specific fan fiction, and I think it was on Wattpad. They only referred to it as the Milk fan fiction, and it was about One Direction.
No,
what it is. And they wouldn't tell me what.
It was not about One Direction.
They wouldn't tell me what it was.
It was not about One Direction. This was originally a Panic at the Disco.
That would make more sense, to be honest with you.
This was originally a Panic at the Disco fanfiction and has been copied into different fandoms. I am not discussing this. This is R-rated content.
Okay, but to be fair, I'll never forgive those girls for not telling me about it, and they would only be like, "Oh, the milk," and I'll be like, "Okay, bitch,
it's called the
share."
It's called the Milk Fic.
I'm writing this down.
Even the name.
All I'm gonna say is it begins with Ryan was kneeling in the bathtub, a towel underneath his knees.
Oh my god!
Okay, maybe I'm not gonna write this down.
Ryan Ross.
I'm gonna delete.
All I gotta say, as a vegan,
I have to let my cat in.
As a vegan, I cannot consume this content. So We're good.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Okay. Yeah. So, last episode was great, but I do have a bone to pick with the way they portrayed fan fictions because us girlies need some respect.
We need respect in this household.
Absolutely.
Hold on, I'm having an animal problem with my pets.
No.
Now, were there
gosh.
absolutely horribly written ones that were absolute garbage dumpster fire? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? It made the good ones that much better. That's all I have to say.
But in the writer's notes at the bottom, half of these girlies would be like, "I'm sorry for the late update. I was in the hospital. I was with my mom on her deathbed, and I was eating that shit up." I was like, "Okay, here's my update. Thank you." And then they would get 5 out of 6 chapters, and they stopped. I think
it's funny that you say that because Robin, I swear to God, okay, Let me put some context on this thing before I lay it out there because I'm really outing myself. I moved to a new state where I literally don't know anyone besides 2 members of my family. So we're desperate for content, and I don't have time to really look at my phone until late at night. And so I was reading maybe a fanfic, maybe not to out myself, and literally not even in a fandom that I'm a part of, just some random ass fic because the writing was good. So I don't even know who these characters are. And 2, literally the last chapter that I read literally said, "Sorry guys for the late update. My mom just died and I'm really going through a hard time." And I'm like, "Girl, don't be updating your fanfic. Go take some time to rest."
I love the ones that are like, "Sorry, my power's gone out for like 24 hours. I'm writing this at a Starbucks right now."
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, why? Yeah, they create a whole new chapter just to give us this small update. And it's like, girl, dedication to your audience. I will never complain. They be putting in the work to give us content. I'm like, out of everyone who produces content, they work the hardest and for free. For what? For free?
Absolutely.
Love
it. You literally can not only read a story, but you can also follow them on a whole emotional journey the entire time through the little ANs. And it's wonderful.
Absolutely. Like, I'm just emotionally invested in both the story and my author friends. You know, their usernames, some random combination of characters' names. But then it's characters from a different fandom, so they're not even writing about the characters that are in their name. There's a whole culture there, okay? So put some respect on their names.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, I think it is finally time for you guys to give us life updates and talk about any jobs or anything. I know we hinted at this at the beginning of the episode, so the floor is open.
Anyone want to go first?
I do not have anything interesting going on.
You haven't graduated yet, so you're good.
I'm focusing on personal growth.
You know, as you should, Queen.
Yes. Not gonna lie, I took a good amount of time after graduating to literally just emotionally come to terms with life because I was down to the bone in college. I was so exhausted constantly. And I swear to God, like that first week back home where I just laid in bed and was dead to the world, that was the best week of my life. But beyond that, so I recently started at an entertainment company, and I don't know if I should be dropping, I don't know, I'll drop names. Fuck it, why not? So I'm, I just feel like I have to keep some mystery, but it's fine. So I'm working at Hershey Entertainment and Resorts, and yeah, very excited about it.
I knew it.
Yes.
She just guessed.
You posted something that said like Hershey, Pennsylvania, and I'm like, I bet she's working for Hershey.
Yep. So I started as a digital marketing associate there, and what excites me most about the company is that I'm able to continue to market different forms of entertainment that I worked with previously at college. So in college, I was working with an entertainment organization that was all about music that Maggie is actually a part of as well. So we love Brave Sounds. Go check them out if you're a Bradley student. But yeah, so I was working with that organization, which is all about supporting the local music scene, all about raising up artists. So that's something that's really important to me. Music has always been like a big part of my life. Even though I'm not musically gifted myself, I like to support the community. So it's great that they have that. They have theater, they have hockey, which I've mentioned previously. I was working with hockey back in college as well too. And honestly, I am so beyond thrilled with just those two things alone, because I was looking and I was like, how can I continue to work in both of these industries that I have so much passion for? And like, where am I going to find somewhere that has both of these things? And to find a company that has music and also specifically hockey is like a dream come true for me, for a first job especially. So I'm really happy about that. And then they also have like lodging. They have a hotel and a resort and a lodge. They have spas. They have the theater. They have like all different kinds of crazy things and like restaurants. And I'm so excited to be in this space because not only am I able to continue in areas that I'm familiar with, but I also get to expand into new areas as well. So I'm like so thrilled with it. And it's something that I didn't really expect because I kind of thought, you know, oh, I'm just gonna go to Pennsylvania for a little bit and then like jump somewhere else. But I don't know, I can kind of see a future there. And that's something that really excites me. So yeah, that's
absolutely. Let's get some W's in the chat. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I was kind of like, I've been following this journey for a while, and like,
Yes.
I can't even lie to you, Elizabeth. My mother, I was like, oh, Girlie's gonna have a podcast, and I think Elizabeth's gonna talk about her new job, and she was like, you better tell her that I'm excited to hear the update. Like, I've been waiting for this update, so I was like,
oh my
okay,
God, so
I'll get her. So we have some dedicated fans all ready for you, waiting for this long update.
Thank you, Robin's mom. Big love.
Big loves all around.
I was literally like so excited when I got the offer. Like I think I almost immediately called you, Robin, because I've been kind of like updating you a little bit. I was like, oh my God, I got the offer. Yeah,
I was like driving and I was like, girl, let's chat. I want to hear all about this.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was so funny because they like officially gave me the offer over the phone. And as soon as I hung up, I literally flung open my door and like, we had family visiting and I just yelled out to the whole house. I was like, I got the job. So
yay.
Yeah.
So big moves, and honestly, like just so excited because I'm learning about like new spaces that I haven't been in before, like I said, and like they're eager to like help me learn and grow, which is something that is so important to me. Like I don't like to be stagnant, which is why I joined so many organizations on campus. I'm glad that I did. And so hopefully I can kind of continue that energy and hopefully not wear myself out too much like I did in college though. So we're learning that work-life balance, man. That's what it's all about.
Oh yeah. Exactly. That's all we need.
Right up.
Yeah. So Robin, you got any updates for us? What are you doing?
So currently, I am working remotely still for my summer job, which, I am very close to finishing the project that I've been working on all summer for them. And I'm like, I told them like probably by Friday that I'd be done. So this is major regular. But I've kind of been I've kind of been in the chats with a friend over here about moving to Atlanta in late August because I have some doctor's appointments, but that means I could probably get started in the film industry down there, which is super exciting. But like I haven't even started looking at jobs because most of the time, you know, film industries are like, we need you next week, and I'm like, well, like, I'm waiting for a second. Yeah.
No, I'm very happy for you that you have that remote work because like that's just such a great opportunity to be still earning some money and, you know, if you're moving around and everything, like,
Oh, yeah.
that's awesome fit for you.
Yeah, especially like because my Hollywood semester basically bled me dry.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need moving money and I need it now.
Yeah.
And they were like super nice and they wanted to hire me back. So I was like, absolutely, I will take that.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Yeah. I feel like that's like the biggest thing is that so many times, like right when you get out of college, I feel like there's this pressure to like instantly have these huge plans and like move halfway across the world. And like while that would be great and exciting, it's also good to, you know, take care of yourself, earn a little bit of money, actually have like a good plan into moving. And so like my advice to anyone who's maybe about to graduate or just, you know, heading into a new life milestone, take care of yourself. Like it's important.
Oh, absolutely. Like you come first.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah. Especially if you can like, you know, I feel like obviously like moving home sometimes isn't always the best or whatever for just like other situations, but if you're able to get yourself like a good financial standing and able to like be ready to make that jump into where you really want to be, that's like it's definitely worth it. So
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Gotta be smart in this economy.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, looks like we are getting close. Does anyone have I decided we're not doing real topics since there's 3 of us. Does anybody have an idea for our last topic today? Opening the floor.
Okay. First, a qualifying question.
Okay.
Does anyone else get really weird dreams when they come home after school in the summertime?
Yeah.
When I'm at school, I barely dream. But when I'm home, I'm like, I dream about work. I dream about people I like was texting before I fell asleep. Like I dream about everything.
Yeah. I get the wackest dreams when I come home. And like I don't even understand them. It's like about people that I haven't talked to in years and haven't thought about in forever. And for some reason they like plague my dreams like crazy. And just like the wackest scenarios from college and stuff. And I'm like, what is going on? And so maybe a topic could be crazy dreams. But if we don't remember them,
Crazy dreams.
You want to do it?
I'm up for crazy dreams.
Yeah.
Problem with dreams is like, do you remember them?
That's true. The one dream that I like will never forget is because it was a reoccurring dream. It's that the zombie apocalypse was happening, but I'm home. I don't see any zombies, but I know they're there, and I'm hunkering in my house to like protect myself from the zombies. And it's just like so reoccurring that like at least once a year that I'm dreaming like this exact same dream. It's insane.
So yeah, that's something. That sounds like paranoia.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Let's be honest. Probably.
What about you, Maggie?
So like the most like crazy dream that I can really remember. Well, there's a couple. Okay. So the crazy dreams I remember are traumatic.
Oh gosh.
So I had a dream. I was like I think this happened like my senior year of high school when I dreamed this. I was in my room in this dream. It was the middle of the night and some man broke into my room from my window that's like literally right there. And I kill him. I kill him somehow because I shoot him with a pistol in my dream, and I'm like freaking out. And my brother and I take this man's body into like the unfinished part of my basement and get one of those like giant storage bins and like Breaking Bad the body, like dissolving it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dramatic. And then I had another dream. Like this happened this year when I was actually at school that I was in my house and my friend had called me in my dream and she's like, my dog died. So my mom was like, let's go help her. So we're about to leave and I'm sitting in my front yard crying because I'm sad that my friend's dog is dead in this dream. And there's some man that's trying to like break into my neighbor's house across the street. And I'm just sitting there on my front lawn. And I'm like, hey, that's not your house. Leave or I'm going to call the cops. And he comes up to me, sitting at the edge of my front lawn, and kills me. And then I wake up.
Oh my god.
Are you okay?
Honestly, I know this sounds really weird, but I have like the most violent dreams when I'm in the best headspaces. So I don't know what that says about me.
I have no idea.
Purging
If
all
I'm
the
being
negative
honest.
energy in your dreams. You're just letting it all
yeah.
go.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, so this is kind of on a similar note to your last dream that you just shared. Like my freshman year of college, I had so many dreams that like I would get a call while I was away because I'm originally from Michigan. Bradley's in Illinois, for those who don't know, which you should all probably know if you're listening to this podcast.
You should know.
Yeah. And so, like, I went to school, like, literally knowing no one. And I would get these dreams that I would get calls, and they would just be like, your mom died, or your dad died, or your dog died. And of course, like, the ones with the dog would always be, like, traumatic, like, your dog got ran over or something.
Oh my god.
I would literally like wake up crying basically because I was like, oh my god, like, you know, and obviously it's a dream, so I got over it pretty quickly. But I'm like, man, the paranoia of like something going wrong at home while I'm away was so bad. And then I also often get these dreams when I'm like stressed out, that some of my teeth fall out in my dreams. And
Me too.
They always feel like the most realistic dreams. And I wake up and I'm literally like, oh my god, like, do I have teeth? Like, was that real? They feel the most realistic dreams I've ever had. Like, I can literally feel like the pain and
Me
like
too.
hear the noises and stuff. Like that.
When I have those dreams, they usually happen when I'm like looking into the mirror in my dream and they fall out in the sink.
Oh my god. See, I get the whole like feeling and the sounds and everything. I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? And so that's why I'm very paranoid. Anyone who goes out at college and maybe gets a little drinky drink, brush your goddamn teeth before you go to bed. That's my little spiel. So yeah, literally it would not matter how much I drank. I would always brush my teeth before I went to bed. So
fair enough. Honestly, best habit you could have ever had.
Yeah. When I continued, because I was like, I do this when I'm sober. I'm gonna do it when I've had a little drink,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Those were like my most often college dreams. I'd say like the weirdest dream that I remember, the first weirdest dream, I was in elementary school and there was this guy that I really thought was super cute. His name was Dominic. And this is when the Twilight movies were Dominic. So in my dream, this is like when the Twilight movies were coming out and really big, right? And so I had a dream that apparently a bunch of people in elementary school got turned into vampires. And like chaos.
I'm not having nearly the detailed dreams as you guys, and now I'm disappointed.
Yeah, but we were in the cafeteria when all of a sudden this vampire apocalypse broke out, and everyone's running around going crazy, trying to be vampires on each other. And my brave knight Dominic comes and saves me from the chaos. So that was like the first weird dream I remember. And wow. I don't know why, because I literally barely talked to this kid. I just thought he was cute. So that's fun. But my most recent weird dream the most recent weird dream that I remember, I was camping with my family recently, and for some reason I had a dream that I was back at Bradley, and like just about every single person I knew was like in this giant room with me, and they watched one of my exes literally kill me. So that was fun.
Was I there?
I
Are
think
you
so.
good?
Like literally everyone I knew just like stood there blank faced watching me die, and I'm like,
Oh
what
my God.
what is happening?
What is going on in your brain?
I don't know, man.
Oh.
So that's my weird dream stories for y'all.
Let me end on a really embarrassing story then. So because middle school me, obviously reading fan fiction, I wanted to be liked by all of my friends, and specifically by those two girls I mentioned earlier, milkfic girls. I'll never get over them. It pissed me off. But I decided to I'm so outing myself. My middle school years were so cringy. I decided to write in a notebook, and I acted like I had this very insane dream that they were in it, and then that other characters were in it, and I acted like this is a dream I had, and I wrote it in a notebook, and I gave it to them, and I was like, oh my God, guys, read my weird dream last night, and it was so detailed, and I was like, I don't know how they thought that this was real, because clearly I made this shit up.
Oh man.
Cringy. Yeah,
Listen.
my dreams aren't that interesting, but the shit I'll lie about, that's where it gets you.
Listen, you gotta have an imagination somewhere. So if it's lies, if it's dreams, you know.
That's where it started out, bro.
Imagination station.
Right.
Oh.
And you know, middle school I think is the most embarrassing time to be alive for anyone. So it's okay.
Oh yeah. I think everybody's embarrassing in their own ways in middle school, so like no one can make fun of me because I know what everyone else did, okay? We all were cringy. Okay.
Still actively embarrass myself, so
Yeah.
Fair
you
enough,
know.
honestly.
The only thing that changes is that you just start to care less. That's really what it is.
That's
So,
fair.
in middle
I'll take
school, you have
that.
a crippling fear of what everyone thinks about you. And then you get older and you're like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't really matter. So,
It's like, it's fine.
yeah.
Oh my
Good
goodness.
stuff. I don't even know.
Well,
I think we've gone over the hour time. I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie.
we definitely have taken our time, and I want to first off just thank you guys for joining today. What an accomplishment! Girls Cast is. I want to make this episode. So if you're listening, make this the highest listened episode. Beat the boys, okay?
Feminism.
Girlcast. Yeah, Girlcast number 1. Okay.
If you don't listen to this episode, you're not a feminist.
Yeah,
We talk about politics.
actively.
We talk about entertainment. We talk about the working world. We talk about our dreams. We talk about our aspirations. We covered it all. This is like got to be the best episode to date. No
And we
offense,
talked
boys.
about
exactly.
fan fiction.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
as
we
we
talk
should.
about the good side of fan fiction. We didn't let
Yes.
those hypocritical boys lead us off the track and make fan fiction bad because it led us to where we were. Okay.
I would like to make one final comment. Girls
Absolutely.
rule, boys drool.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Nothing but the truth.
Shit.
Yes, on your
absolutely.
sentiment, Robin. On your sentiment, it is great to be here, and I'm really glad we got this to happen. So, here's to many more in the future.
Yay.
Yeah.
So that is it for tonight's episode. Thank you for joining in and listening to us chat. If you've made it this far in the episode, you're the best. You're a true Girls fan. You're a true homie. Let me say, you're a true homie. This has been C's Got Degrees. Hopefully, we are a little further into our journey of answering the question, what the hell do we do now? So, see you next time. Bye.
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 How do we stop the recording?
I have no idea. Girl, I didn't even know how to
I'm gonna go
enter
with
the
the general.
recording. Okay.
Wait. Did I go?